Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. All right, Kenny. Kenny, where are you nowadays, man? Where are you located?
Vegas.
Vegas. All right, man. When'd you get to Vegas? Do you live out in Vegas, or are you there just for the camp?
Yeah, my wife and I moved out here a little over a year ago.
And what was behind that? Obviously, the training and stuff like that. But like, why did you feel like you needed to be out in Vegas? What brought you there? Who brought you there?
So what brought me here was the Ultimate Fighter. I was supposed to be on the McGregor series, and I made it through the 2 weeks I was out here. And the last day they made me an alternate. So my buddy Cody Stamen, he picked me up, and I went and I started training at Extreme. And right away I was like, damn, this is next level. I called my wife. I was like, let's see, I got some offers to fight for Bellator, and they were paying good money, and I got a really good sponsor, my boy Trevor Watson, and he basically helped us move out here. And my wife got a new job out here. She actually works 2 jobs now out here, and she provides and puts up with me and helps me get to the gym and do what I got to do. So it was just really good coaching. I quickly realized that I'm not at the level where I want to be, and give me some time out here with the best of the best, and see what I could do with my time.
And when you first got there, it seemed like you had kind of like an epiphany moment or something. And were there some rounds that you had where you're like, whoa, like this is fun, man. This is like I'm really getting challenged out here.
Yeah, I mean, more or less just getting my ass beat by
Mm.
45ers where I didn't even think that it was possible. It's funny because Mads Burnell was my first match, my first sparring round out there, and I was like 160 pounds coming out of the Ultimate Fighter. Like, we were cooped up, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't go to the. There was one workout gym, so my weight got really low, and I came out here and I hadn't worked out for like 2 weeks, and Mads Burnell just put it on me. And Cody Stamen's like, he's like, go with him. I'm like, all right, and it was Mads, and he just beat the shit out of me. And he got up and he like looked at Coach Dennis, and he's like, fucking pussies. And I'm just like limping off the mats, like, God damn. And I mean, from there, I was like, if a 45er can do this to me, he's a 55er now, but I knew I was in the right place, and I had a lot of growth and a lot of learning, and just putting in the time with people that are at the top level. So
Yeah. That's a mindset that not every fighter has. To be honest with you, some fighters they like to be the hammer and be at
yeah,
home with the little guys, and they going out there would be something that they want to experience like from time to time, not every day. You know what I mean? But you want to get into the fire instantly.
yeah. I've been competing since I was 12 with wrestling, and I didn't know how superior Michigan in the Midwest was in grappling and wrestling because that's all I really trained with. So we had really good wrestlers back home, but I was at Murcielago was my last gym before I came out here, and it was a really good gym. Joaquin Buckley, Charles Johnson, Chaos Williams. They have a lot, and really good coaching there. And but it was just people were either really really big or a little too small for me. So I got to pick their brains, and Charles Johnson was a great training partner, and a lot of guys at Mercy they helped me with my mindset and what I should do, but I wasn't getting the bodies necessarily that I needed to really push me without hurting me or without being the hammer. And that's not what I want. If I'm beating everybody in the gym, I know that I'm not the best, so I know I'm not at the right place. But again, it was more so just bodies. In Michigan, I didn't have the best people that were my size. So when I came out here and I looked around and I just saw great 45ers, great 55ers, bigger 55ers, bigger 45ers. They were heavier than me at 45. And I'm like, wow, like these guys are so disciplined. Like they cut so much weight. And, I'm walking around 170 right now, and people think I'm so big and because of my squeeze and my strength. But honestly, I'm not huge. I'm just strong. I'm just blessed by God with whatever I have within me. But it takes a lot of work to keep that oxygen going, and I need people that are going to push me and so that at the end of every practice, I can kind of go home and lay my hat on and be proud of the work that I did. And I'm not going to win every round, but now a year later, a year and a half later, it's a whole different story. I'm feeling really good every day. I lead the practice, same things, but I feel confident. My confidence was at an all-time low when I moved here, just getting smashed. But I know if I was just consistent and if I just kept coming and showing up at practice and praying and getting my rest and taking care of my body and being happy just to be here and push myself, that it would all come. And that's what I'm starting to see now.
Yeah, and also, I believe like since you have so many people around you that are high level, that you get to like, you know, get know how about the science of the sport, right? Like, if
Mhm.
you're in, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're learning about like like recovery and this and that stuff that's not even in the gym?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have a lot of questions in this sport, and if you're not at the top of the top, you're not getting. The best coaches aren't even looking at you. But when you have all these athletes that have been there, they've been through all these different promotions and organizations and trained around the world, and you don't even know who they are, and you go around with them, and then you kind of find out who they are, and they're letting you know like, hey man, we all felt this way. We all you just gotta do this and do that, and I mean with wrestling and cutting weight my whole life, that's one of the biggest challenges for most people, and I've really dialed it in. So it's nice to be able to lean on these guys and have like on Monday was my best practice of my entire life, no matter where I was at. And I mean, there was 20, 30 UFC guys on the mat, 10, 15 Bellator guys on the talent was insane. It's just everywhere you look. So just brushing shoulders with these guys, Sean Strickland comes in and says that I'm a redneck Leonidas. Like he calls me like these nicknames, and you got a champion kind of just one of the first weeks I was there, Francis Ngannou was leaning over the cage, watching me in this Brazilian spar, and Mateus, he'll take your head off. He's huge, and Francis is looking over like too much power, too much power. I'm like tell him, he's trying to kill me. It's just it's insane. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy. I'm so blessed, and I really want to earn like one of my goals is to earn a locker at Extreme.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
best people have lockers, and the people that have put their time in, they've earned lockers. A lot of people don't go in there and have these kind of goals, like little goals that I set for myself, and all that kind of adds up, gets me through the days, gets me through the training camps, and keeps my sights set on the mission.
Yeah, and since the move, you did compete in April and got a second round finish. Were you satisfied with that fight?
Yeah, yeah, I was. I mean, honestly, to me, I didn't like the way I was moving, but my opponent was really like running away. There was one point where I missed the hook and I missed the cross because he literally went like this and then pulled guard. And I'm just getting pissed off. It was like he didn't want to fight. So this next opponent, I know he's not going to be pulling guard. He's going to be coming for it. So I think it's going to be more of like a real fight. The last one was kind of he was shooting from halfway across the cage. It's kind of that timing and judging the distance, which is what I'm good at. It's tough when you have someone that's a fish, kind of flopping around and being unorthodox like that. I mean, all respect to him, but it was the level wasn't there for someone that has 13 professional wins. It was kind of a weird, bout for me, but we got it done. My his game plan was to tire me out, which is everybody's game plan because the only way I've ever lost is getting tired, and we could dive into that all day, but I am where I'm at now for a reason, and I've it's kind of every step, every misstep has allowed me to refine who I am and grow and patch up all the holes in the boat to get across the ocean. But yeah, I wasn't impressed with my last performance, but I'm excited that I got the dub. I got a finish, and you get your confidence back after you lose. It sucks, and the whole world kind of just writes you off, and you got to battle back. So I'm glad I got the dub.
Yeah, yeah, going back to the loss, man, because you've always had extra attention on you just because you're you. You know what I mean? People know who you are. You have the personality as well. It kind of sucks that they didn't put you on the Ultimate Fire. To be honest with you, I thought you would have been perfect for it with skill and fucking personality. On top of that, but yeah, man, how was it? How important is it to just get back and win, man? Because like you said, there was a lot of eyes on you for that Bellator fight.
Yeah, and to only get one and done, they cut me. I was supposed to have four different fights. I took up a big opponent, and it was just the whole camp that I was here. I was here for like 5 6 weeks outside of the Ultimate Fighter venue where I was at the hotel. But I was hurting myself because I was trying to get my conditioning up because I knew I wasn't where I was at. And to be honest, I think I had maybe 4 or 5 actual days in the gym at Extreme before I went and took that fight. And I didn't tell my wife or I didn't tell anybody that like it could be a long night. I just kept saying like I visualize a head kick knockout. I'm super athletic, and my talent has gotten me to the dance without any hard work so many times in my past as a wrestler. I would smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol and party. I would party on a Friday, show up to a tournament reeking like Grey Goose. I would get sit. My coach would sit me for 2 matches, and then he would let. And then I finally got, and I'll go 3-0. But I didn't have that discipline, and that's just my background of my upbringing, and I kind of had to figure out who I am, and now, being settled and really wanting to challenge myself against the best of the best, you have to be all in. So, it's taken some time. I might have just went off on a tangent, kind of lost where I'm at, but I know that I'm disciplined now more than ever. I want it. I lost to Achilles Moda. Everyone wrote me off. I didn't get a second chance. I got the owner like of PFL or Steph Reyes or he's a coach in my gym. Like I could go up and ask him for a second chance. I could go and ask for a lot, but instead I just want to earn it. I just want to prove that I'm really good. I could be great. I have the tools. I wanna build my confidence and my persona and be me. I think a lot of my interviews in the past, I'm trying to be someone to relate to whoever and to make people like me instead of just being true to myself. But you really got to find out who you are. If you're trying to, you got to be yourself. The more you can be yourself, the further you're gonna get. And that's what I'm just so thankful for is that I'm starting to really see like who I am, and I'm not gonna falter to make someone laugh or to talk shit to an opponent. If I feel a certain way, I just want to kind of let it out and be who I am, and put a little pizzazz on, make the audience a little excited. But at the end of the day, like this is just fighting, and your soul matters more than making fans scream.
XFC 51 Evolution. I feel like this title is perfect for you, man, from what you just said. Don't you feel the same way?
Yeah, yeah, it is a cool title. I actually really like it. They keep putting my face on all the posters. And back in
Yeah.
the day when they restarted it under a different owner, they labeled me the face of the XFC, and we were running with that. And so it's kind of coming full circle now, and I'm excited to still be here, and that the XFC is running things the way they are. And yeah, it's a really cool title. I'm excited.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanchez, man, this dude. I feel like this is the perfect name for the perfect opportunity to like kind of launch you back up into being in talks of whatever opportunities that are coming up. What's up? What do you think of the matchup and just having him as an opponent?
Perfect. I think it's an amazing opportunity. To be honest, I'd never heard of him until I got this opportunity. And then I went and I watched film, and right away I see Mads Burnell, Jeremy Kennedy, two of my main training partners, beat him back to back. And then you're like, dang, he fought Fabricio Pitbull. Dang, he fought him twice. He's fought all these guys, and he was like number 2 Bellator. But again, it's like I always stick to my guns on like 45ers are too small. When I fought on Dana White Contender Series, Kevin Seiler, 10-0, 45er, came up to
Yeah,
55. I was partying. I had to cut weight twice before I fought. I cut weight. He got COVID. A bunch of different opponents fell through. I went home. I had $5,000 for making weight. I partied on a yacht for like 3 days. My manager called me. He's like, "Hey, they want you to come back and fight next week." back then I was drinking, so I was 190 pounds. I was actually pretty damn big then.
Uh,
So I had to cut weight again. No cardio, no training for like 3 weeks because the first week cutting weight, partying, cutting weight. Then I fought. I still beat him. I still smashed him. He's a wrestler. He was a grappler, and I smashed him. And I was dead tired. I still beat him because he's a 45er. They're too small. Now things. I mean, Mads Burnell. He smashed me when I first got to Extreme. I was like, 45ers can't do that to me, and it happened. So, I mean, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket there, but I am confident in my abilities and my strength and my ability to like gauge distance and timing and my transfer of force. I think that this guy's never been hit by someone that hits like me. I'm a southpaw, I'm long, I have different tools, and the way he loses is my game plan for the most part. It's my arsenal. Like he pressures, and that's what's so exciting. I love moving backwards. I had a older brother who wrestled in the Marines, and he was 2 years older and 20, 30 pounds heavier, and he had to come at me, and so I got good at check hooks. Like I was always running away, mom, mom, mom. Like that's where I learned, like, oh wow, I can box going backwards. Like this is nice. And that's just a God-given talent. A lot of people can't do that. Now with the
Mhm.
XFC cage, it's really small. Hopefully they give me a bigger XFC cage this time to move around and give you that poetry in motion. But yeah, it's a perfect matchup. A great name, a legend, you could say, in the sport. And if you don't know who he is, once him and I go to battle, I think fans are gonna leave that night super excited about me coming up and actually facing a formidable opponent that's well known around the world.
Yeah, to be honest, it's basically a Bellator, like a contender fight in XFC.
Yeah.
Man, that's XFC is getting a huge opportunity as well by getting both you guys in this fight. And he's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Michigan. Has there ever been a rivalry between Wisconsin and Michigan? Does it go back to like schools and wrestling days or anything like that?
No, but it's pretty cool. I mean, you got the Pettis gym. I grew up watching Anthony Pettis, and now I'm close with Patchy Mix, who just beat Sergio Pettis. So it's kind of cool to go to Milwaukee, see what it's about. I have some teammates that have trained there, and they like, oh, really? You've trained there? I know nothing about it besides black and yellow, and it looks cool inside the gym, and there's these legends that trained there. But you know, in Michigan, Milwaukee, I haven't really traveled a whole lot. I haven't been outside of Michigan besides where fighting has taken me, which is just amazing. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. I'm excited to go. I know that I'll be getting booed. I know that the refs might be a little more lenient to standing up the fight and doing and edging scores possibly. You never know. That's why I got to make sure I go out there and handle business.
What do you envision for yourself? What type of performance do you want out of yourself in this fight?
I want to see that I can go 3 rounds with someone that is well known, that has all that experience. He has like over 30 professional fights. I want to, prove to myself and to my coaches and to everybody that I'm not going to gas out, that I am disciplined, that I push the pace in training. Like I just got a black eye today grappling, and I'm not even tired. I didn't even know how it happened because my arms are up. I'm like, all right, let's go. Stand up. I'm like, the first time ever, I'm telling like, come on, guys, good posture, because we're not supposed to like slouch over after a round, get ready for the next round. So I just been pushing myself so much and eating right, staying disciplined, no drinking, no smoking. I'm having the craziest dreams every single night. Like like I'm remembering everything. I had insomnia for a couple weeks because I smoked a little bit for a long time. But no, like I had to just stop it because I took a fight, my last fight, on 10 days notice, stopped smoking, and I still popped, and they fined me, they suspended me, and they're trying to take away my win, which is fucking crazy. I stopped smoking as soon as I signed the contract. So again, now I'm stopped smoking a couple months out, which whatever, it's legal where I live, it's legal where I fought, but I'm just leaving no crumbs on the table, no stones unturned, and I'm just super disciplined. I want to go out there and show that I can perform at the top level. I got a lot of haters that motivate me.
I remember us doing an interview. I believe it was like sometime before the Contender Series fight, and from what I remember from that interview to now, and listening to like everything that has happened, man, you have like turned your life around in many ways because you've tasted it a little bit, right, with the Contenders and the Ultimate Fighter, and now it's just like flipping, and it's great to see, man. Kenny, all the best to you, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you as well, dude. You're a great interviewer. So it's I didn't even remember that was you from Contender Series, and that was I was just a young 25-year-old partying all the time, and I thought it was gonna come so easy because I got this opportunity, and now it's like 4 or 5 years later, and I'm still not in the UFC. You can take it for granted these opportunities, and that's a mistake that you only make once.